Hi there. These are a couple of the things that I do to support this channel. We see here a whole bunch of muslin, and there's the better part of 5 yards, 5 meters of muslin there. I also have my wonderful ironing machine that I really like, and you can see that I've roughed up my ironing board cover. So today, as part of supporting my channel, Jebb Adams, I'm going to go to a local Canadian tire store in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and buy a new ironing board cover. And I'll keep the old one on. I'll just put the new one over it. And I'm also going to buy a whole bunch of thread and any other notions that I see suggested to me in the aisles while I'm shopping at that iconic, wonderful Canadian store. But I also want to wish you all well. I hope you're having a great day. That's what this video is about, how I support my channel, and I'm going to go to the store and maybe do a little bit of filming in the aisles there when I look at the ironing board covers and the thread and things that I'm going to buy. It was an interesting episode. I already had these two sections of these two pieces of muslin edged, stitched, washed, and ironed, but this one I did last night, and it's really large. But it was pre-shrunk, it was hot washed and high heat dried, so everything is pre-shrunk, and I have enough muslin for months. Probably a month or two at the very least. So that's a good thing. And it was interesting because that big bunch, it took me 1 hour and 25 minutes to iron it. But I was listening to Liz Gilbert and Tim Ferriss on YouTube while I was ironing, and that was very, very nice as well. So this is where I'm starting. This is Metro Station GUY-CONCORDIA, which is where the Canadian Tire store is at, nearby. I walk right up into the second floor and into the store. I live near Metro Station Place des Arts, but it's not very far. It's only about 3 or 4 stations from Place des Arts to here, and the trains don't stop for long. They only stop for 15 or 20 seconds at each station, so they move along. And they do have rubber wheels. They also have steel wheels for the brakes. But because they have rubber wheels running on, kind of concrete platform, there's no metal squealing from the wheels to the rails. It's quite nice. I mean, it's still noisy. It's trains. It's, heavy duty stuff. But so that's the start of my getting my supplies for Jebb Adams' channel, where I'm still working on the jeans dream. Here's an eastbound train just pulling into GUY-CONCORDIA Station, and you can see on the top of the train there it says that it's going to Honoré-Beaugrand, which is the easternmost station on the Green Line here on the STM system. So I got off at the wrong station. I needed to go to Metro Station ATWATER, but I got off at Metro Station GUY-CONCORDIA. But the train's coming in, so I'll be there soon. So here I am at the correct station. This is Metro Station ATWATER, and this is where the mall is that has the Canadian Tire store, where I'm going to shop for my supplies for my channel. And this is where I'm going to Alexis Nihon Plaza or mall, and it's a huge 2 or 3 level mall shopping area in Montreal. Everything is kind of below ground because of the Montreal winters. This is the store I'm going to, the iconic Canadian Tire store, Le Magasin Canadien Tire. So here I am at the Canadian Tire. There's the machine that I use right now, the Singer HD 4432. It's on for 320 Canadian right now. There's a serger. I already have a serger. It's on for $389, $400, so I don't need one. And I did buy some thread here. They don't have a huge selection of thread, so this is where I come to, since I'm here and I needed the ironing board cover, this is where I got my sewing supplies as well. This is also the aisle where they sell the irons, and I bought the nice Singer iron here. It's 1800 watt, Conair. It's 1800 watts. And I have used that one on the channel, but I don't use it right now. I use this one, and they're really good. I really like them. My only criticism is that the water reservoir is a little small. So I'm back at ATWATER station, and here you can see the sign, Direction Honoré Beaugrand. That means the train is eastbound, and it's going to come here in a minute. You can see the lights down there where the rails drop, and there might be a bit of a curve, so it should be here shortly. And when the train arrives, it doesn't stop long. It only stops for like 15 to 20 seconds, and then it proceeds to the next stop. This section of the Green Line is the downtown section of the Green Line between Métro Station Berry-UQAM and Métro Station Lionel Groulx. And so it's like right downtown Montreal. It's not a suburb or way out east or way out west or anything like that. Here comes the other direction, going towards Métro Station Angrignon. And here comes my train right now, Honoré Beaugrand. They're on rubber wheels, rubber tires, but they have steel wheels for the brakes.
Prochaine station, GUY-CONCORDIA. Station GUY-CONCORDIA. Prochaine station, Place des Arts.
So this next stop, Place des Arts, is my stop. And you just heard them announce in French, Métro Station, prochaine station, Place des Arts. You should come and live in Montreal. You'll learn how to speak French. The Quebecois people, they're really nice, especially if you try to speak French. They'll really be nice to you. This is the train I just got off. You should come and live in downtown Montreal. You'd love it. You'd learn how to speak French. They have really nice metro stations here in Montreal. They're kind of individually designed by an assortment of somewhat accomplished architects. So this is what I ended up purchasing to support my channel. I got the new ironing board cover, and it's just like this one, or very similar to. I think it's even the same design. But I'm just going to leave this one on, and then I'll install this one on top of this one, so that will be more than sufficient. I also picked up 11 spools of thread. I got 4 black, 4 white, and 3 gray. So I've got a little bit of thread to keep me going. And as mentioned and shown before, I've got all that wonderful muslin fabric, cloth, available now. So I'm ready to start doing a little more muslin sewing some muslin pants. I've got the forms, all that stuff, and now I've got these, so I shouldn't run out of anything. But I really did need to get another ironing board cover because I've cut it and stabbed it a number of times and it was starting to get a little ragged, a little awkward. So I'm looking forward to getting that all dressed up. Anyway, I hear the Montreal finest out there doing their best. And I'm going to get to work here and do some more stuff to get sewing. So I've got the new ironing board cover on, and they are a tight fit. If you've done this before, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there is a strap underneath that I did up, so it is tight there. And it is holding, it is staying solid. It's not slipping off the edge of the board up here. That end is not difficult. That's easy for that end to stay in place. But it's this end where initially it was slipping off. So I've got the iron going, and I'm just gonna flatten out the cover, and maybe that will help. I think it will, because I remember that, you know, when I got the first one, it was very close tolerance as well. And it has to be that way. I want it to be that way because once it's on nice and snug. And with the heat and the pressure from the iron, however minimal that is, I'm sure it'll just be fine. And I'm going to be really gentle with this ironing board cover. I like it because it has the horizontal and the diagonal lines. It's very convenient when I'm putting cloth down on there to measure, because I sometimes do measure my items on the ironing board, the cloth. So that's what's going on here. Beautiful weather here in downtown Montreal today and this evening. I did sit outside and have a coffee. I put my patio chair and table out on the balcony, and I've already had my first coffee of the year of 2025 just a little while ago. So I'm going to iron that a few more times, just keep flattening it out, and then I'm going to get some of the muslin and the rolled up patterns, templates, and start cutting some of that out. The other thing that I would like to mention is that this ironing board is 18 inches wide, as is the ironing board cover. Most of the ironing boards and the ironing board covers at Crappy Tire, which is what we affectionately refer to Canadian Tire here in Canada as, most of them are only 15 inches wide, so it is slightly larger. I do like it, and they're not all that expensive. The ironing board was like maybe 80 bucks, 90 bucks. If I wanted to upgrade to intermediate or advanced professional as far as an ironing board, then I probably would be spending around $300 or more for the ironing board. Hopefully that will include a cover. But for my purposes, this is more than sufficient, as is my 1700 watt Singer Steamcraft iron. My one little criticism about the Singer Steamcraft 1700 watt iron is that even though it has a water reservoir that is larger than most, it's still somewhat lacking. I have looked at professional ironing systems, and I could get an iron where the liquid is injected, like it's plugged in and it is, pushed into the iron. And I don't know how long the steam would last, but to go to that kind of level is going to be about $250, $300 Canadian. And then the next step up from there is like well over $500 Canadian, like about $700. So it can add up pretty good, but tools, especially top-notch, good quality tools, are never cheap. And we don't want cheap tools. We want to spend the money and get good quality tools for our purposes and safety. So there's a little more information about ironing boards, ironing board covers, irons, and so forth. Now, Canadian Tire does not stock a lot of sewing notions. They don't stock a lot of thread, different brands or or much of a selection of thread. They have a very limited supply of notions. In order to get different amounts of thread and different types of yarn that the thread is made from, I would have to go up to the garment district here in Montreal, and where they have a huge selection of all sorts of things. So, but I was at Canadian Tire to get the ironing board cover, so I got the thread, and that's good for now. I already had thread here, but after edge stitching all of this, the nearly 5 yards of muslin, I had used a lot of thread as well. So there I go. And this is the Singer Heavy Duty 4432, and earlier in the video we saw one on the shelf in the box for $319.99. I was fortunate when I purchased this one, it was on sale for about $280 or $290. So I saved $30 or $40 on the purchase of this one, but I really like it. I have sewed denim with it, but not a lot. But I do follow Rebecca Good, and she uses a Singer Heavy Duty 4452. A slight upgrade from that one. Not much of an upgrade, it's more with the accessories that you get with it, as opposed to the lesser number of accessories with this sewing machine. But I'm really pleased with it, and it was like I say, it was on sale when I bought it, so I got to save a little bit of money also. I hope you enjoyed this video about buying the ironing board cover and me picking up some thread there and showing you some of the stuff in the sewing machine aisle and the iron aisle in Canadian Tire. And I hope you enjoyed my, the parts of the video where I was in the metro traveling to Canadian Tire and back home again with my supplies. So it's Wednesday evening now, kind of late-ish, around 10 or 10:30 at night, and this is the end of the video. I'll be getting up tomorrow and getting my muslin out and my templates and start cutting some cloth and start sewing. Have a good night. Adios, amigos. By the way, I'd appreciate it if you haven't subscribed or liked, please subscribe and like. Thank you very much.